About 1 year ago, I did a review of Disney Infinity. I feel pretty safe in saying that it is one of the most in-depth reviews I have ever done on this site, and it was relatively one of the most popular in terms of view count. So naturally, I'd have to give out my thoughts on the 2.0 edition now that its lifespan is winding down. The toy box upgrades go above and beyond the Call of Duty when it came time for me to finally get my ass into the toy box building scene. And boy, are the improvements ever worth it. They got rid of the toy vault because the general consensus of that was,
hey, Biodome. It's so grating and ear-ingly bad that I'm surprised the movie itself hasn't been arrested for indecent exposure.
But enough about 90s cinematic disasters that showcase everything wrong with the particular decade. Let's get into the good stuff they added to 2.0. Builders were a gratuitous time saver for when I needed to create a platforming level in a short time. Interiors were an awesome addition, but the segregation of the folders blows as you'd expect. The text creator makes weaving together a storyline such a breeze, but by far the most Tonka-tough creativity I've ever used is none other than the Logic Gate. Because if you're like me and wanted to make some elaborate toy box experiences, the robust amount of versatility this puppy has, it's good. There are literally so many bells and whistles the toy box has to offer.
Sweet Christmas.
But if I had to name one overlaying problem I had with this series, it would have to be the missed opportunities. Especially the playsets in 2.0. You can explain this off by playing the Marvel Manhattan Mad Lib. Right, so how do I put this? Oh, I know. It is a beautiful day until the evil Calendar Man, yeah, that's it, attacks the city with his army of Shy Guys. So it's up to the superhero team known as the Livewires to investigate the quasi-governmental organization, make something up, and halt the felon's evil scheme to transforming the planet into a fried cheese ball and then filling it up to the brim with snacks. Replace the heroes, the villain, the army, the organization, and the evil scheme, and you have officially got 2 of the Marvel playsets. In fact, the only playset that doesn't follow the Marvel Mad Lib? Guardians of the Galaxy. And even then they did an abridged version of their movie.
I am Groot. Guys, I've totally got a plan.
Oh, hi, Studio Gobo, developers of both this and the Pirates playset. Can't wait to see how the fanboys will groan at your edits to the Star Wars original trilogy.
Right.
But the point is, the Disney side of Disney Infinity this year has ultimately received...
It's absolutely nothing.
You'd think the Big D would put up a playset or 2 for their neck of the woods, but no. We're just getting the 2 expansion games. Way to show you care, Avalanche!
Dinkelberg.
So for this arson, we're gonna do something different. Something extra. The top 5 missed opportunities of Disney Infinity 2.0. With that said, ladies and gentlemen of the mob, time to riot loose with a Fandom Arson, our mid-season finale. Belts up, gang. We're about to land. That's the best sounding elevator music I ever heard.
Your plan is weak and silly where mine is strong! Well, you have sacrificed story content for mindless violence and lack of structure!
See, I put this choice this low on the list because it doesn't really represent a sort of franchise, but it's an important thing I need to say, and I need to do it now. It is maniacal to charge $13 a pop just to play as your favorite character, and then trying to justify it with cheap plastic. No offense to the toys, they're pretty well made, actually. But these guys need to be free to unlock in-game for us to use, regardless of whether or not you overpay for the plastic figurine you expect us to buy into. I think I have an idea of how Disney Infinity should work on 4.0 onward, should you go through with this plan. Okay, first you create a customizable character with an intricate character creation system similar to the Mii's but more in-depth. Okay, that's one thing you can do without the figures right there. But now your Build-A-Bestie needs a distinct drawback, otherwise the toy sales will sink like stone. So what we'll propose is that the creation of toy box levels can only be done by our pals in plastic. So it is up to you to befriend these figure characters and have them join your selection of playable characters in-game. Either that, or buy some new figures, or dust off the you already got. To add figure characters to your Dream Kingdom, that's the hypothetical flub world of 4.0 built for you to explore, with and without the game's classic superpower, you go about collecting pins. They'll be your power stars for this evening. And how do you get pins? Why, you go introduce yourselves to the rest of the cast members stuck into your Dream Kingdom. And don't forget, as of 3.0, you can farm now. You'd definitely still be able to use sidekicks in the game. So yeah, I'd farm for some pins. In fact, do we really have to feed them to our sidekicks? Maybe it'd be a good idea to, start up a restaurant, craft them into entrees, or better yet, fishing! That's something I see my avatar doing for pins. Maybe you could craft an outfit or two for your avatar? Furniture even? And you know what? You should be rewarded for exploring other people's toy boxes, which by 4.0 should include the likes of racing games, arcade games, adventure games, puzzle games, platformers, beat-em-ups, maybe an action RPG if they've provided the proper tools. And in a blink of an eye, you've amassed enough pins for your first playset! Though granted, Disney Infinity actually needs the toys to keep John Lasseter's story collection growing, but maybe if you add extra missions and hidden areas to stash into the plastic, it could work out. But now we've reached the fun part. Now you get to go on missions with your favorite Disney, Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars characters. Also, you could beat up bad guys, escort good guys, fetch some things, destroy other things, collect bonus boxes if they're still around. And there you have it. You have just recruited your first figure character. And with 10 levels added to the cap. 20 of which lie behind that plastic paywall. Ooh. Don't worry guys, there's going to be so much more than just the tripled level cap to get you incented. Like your usual serving of a townsperson and a poster, a costume for your avatar, a Hall of Heroes type statue for use in the toy box, that's something the fans always wanted. Not to mention you can save the data onto the figure so you can bring it along with you on road trips. And hey, here's an idea. Have the figures as cast members. That's another thing people want. Throw in accessories, maybe a personal room in the interior section. And while you're at it, reward the final third of spark grinding with digital power discs. I mean, think of the possibilities you can do with such a concept. You can equip them to any playable character in the Dream Kingdom, plop specific vehicles into the toy box, and if a certain franchise with power discs doesn't have a character to back it up, then go award pins for climbing up the ranks, collecting figurines, and perform specific feats, which, pooled together, can unlock those power discs. And ultimate unlocks can be such a breeze too. Just max out the initial 10 level cap of the 1.0 characters to get Luke's lightsaber, with his land speeder following suit should you max out the 2.0 guys. And only by reaching the limits of the characters from all three currently existing versions of Disney Infinity can you be able to unlock the Keyblade. Maybe you can get the unlock bonus for the 4.0 and 5.0 cast. But by then, 5.0 has already been released, and you've started the cycle all over again.
No!
Welcome to heck, nerd.
This literally sucks.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! Yes, 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 it's my favorite time of the day!
Okay, gang, quick show of hands. How many of you remember the Disney afternoon? And would you like to see Disney Infinity make one playset from that particular lineup before you die?
All I know is my gut says maybe.
Tailspin, Bonkers. Heck, Darkwing Duck made it extremely close to production before the cutoff date, so there's obviously some love for the Blockdown and Avalanche. And why wouldn't there be? It's a nostalgic idea goldmine down there. Most of the time. How about I lay down examples? Just imagine WayForward doing a DuckTales themed set featuring Scrooge McDuck, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, Magica de Spell, and Launchpad McQuack, who can easily cross into a Darkwing Duck playset no problemo. Obviously joining the man himself, Abby, and Megavolt will be our villain. Negadoc too if you want to up the badass. And if we're going by the logic that went into the ill-conceived villain 3-pack of 1.0, we could stoop Puck into the villain role for a potential Gargoyles playset built by Ninja Theory. Goliath, Demona, and the rest of the Manhattan clan will act as our heroes, David Xanatos being a possible late cycle figure, cause let's face it, his turn to the good side was one of the only good things that came out of the Goliath Chronicles. And speaking of good things from unideal situations, I can name 3 good reasons to justify a potential bonkers playset off the top of my head. First of which would be that it would be the closest we could get to a Roger Rabbit playset without messing with the Katzenberg. Second would be that enough time has passed that it could prove to be a springboard for a clever satire of modern cop shows like CSI. And finally, it could be a good way to actually provide a great opportunity for the Disney animated canon to show up in a playset. Again, because Roger Rabbit. Gummy Bears, Chippendale Rescue Rangers, you know what? I would even settle for a Mighty Ducks playset if you feel like doing it for some insane reason. There are literally so many opportunities to allow kids in the late 80s to show their kids the best Disney cartoons the companies treated you to without essentially double jumping their demographic.
OMG, Aussie sauce for cheesy.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain?
Like the code, bro. Well, this movie clearly deserved to be a lot more than it was. And it could have been an easy fix, too. Give it another hour, put more focus on the rest of the Big Hero 6, flesh him out to the point where the most nitpicky of nitpickers won't see him as one-dimensional cardboard cutouts, and we could have something here. To me, the biggest selling point was Tadashi, and the dynamic he had with Hiro. Why you didn't play that to your advantage is beyond me. I genuinely felt like I saw the Iron Man of Armored Adventures interacting with his counterpart from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, super serial. The dynamic was that memorable to me. In fact, it made me wish the movie was a bit more focused on that dynamic, alongside the aforementioned characters the rest of the cast should have gotten, and the regular Baymax stick we did get. Maybe explore the psychological turmoil losing both parents at a young age both brothers face on a regular basis, similar to what we'd probably get in a Spear counterpart to Frozen. I mean, believe me, it would have been a much better use for Tadashi than this.
Facepalm, apply directly to the forehead.
Oh, use the Marvel Mad Lib.